Okay, we're back again. This is part 4. It's gonna go great. This is gonna be very long. I have a feeling that this is gonna be the longest part, probably. Let's see where we left off at. She stands up, sniffling, then answers her own question. I'm gonna go. Wait, I say. She stops in her tracks. What? Can you take me there? She stares at me with red, puffy eyes. Her face is a mask of confusion, disbelief. Excuse me? The cabin, I mean. I lean forward in my chair. Can you take me to the Callous Man? I've never been a fan of the woods. Call it a bad childhood experience. Call it being an out-of-shape asshole. I'm even less of a fan when I'm stuck hiking through them for work. And yet it seems like work has a sense of sick humor. Because I find myself in these fortresses of shit and sticks more often than I'd like. Which, for the record, is never. Well, except for today. It's a long time before we reached the cabin. The girl said it took her and her friend 8 hours. Well, it takes us 12. My best days are behind me, unfortunately. But luckily, I don't need to be very fit for what I'm about to do. I still don't understand why you couldn't just follow the map, Amanda says. I told you exactly how to get to... Because, I say, still breathless from the hike. The cabin doesn't exist on a map. You can point it out to me all you want on your iPhone, but unless you're right beside me, I'll never see it. It's just the way the Callous Man works. She narrows her eyes at me. You keep saying that name. Why do you call him the Callous Man? I pull open the door of the cabin and instantly, it smells like shit and dead animals. Great. I call him the Callous Man, I say, strolling across the creaky floorboards, because that's his name. It's the name the first person that had ever encountered him coined him with. And so it is the name with which I prefer to him. The first person? Yeah, I say, stepping into the bedroom. Me. The floor is a mess, covered in what's left of Amanda's tent. A small device lays a few feet away, and I figure it's probably her locator beacon. Hang on, she says, appearing in the doorway behind me. You're the first person who saw the Callous Man? I nod, bending down and picking up the shattered photo frame she mentioned. Dusting it off, I hold it up to her. This is my grandpa and I, showing off our rifles before our hunting trip. She looks shocked, stunned. Her eyes gaze at the picture, then back at me. On second glance, you two really do share a resemblance. You and he look so much alike. Yeah, I suppose we do. I toss the frame onto the ground. You lived here? Visited. My grandpa lived here. What the hell? She says, her voice trailing off. This whole thing feels so bizarre. It has to be a nightmare. It can't be real. I flip the water bottle full of black grime in my hands, catching it with a smile. You're preaching to the choir, lady. If I had to guess, I'd probably hope I wake up from this even more than you do. Unlike you, she says with a glare, I don't have any secret agent training or whatever. Unlike me, you've got my gun. The only training you need is to point and shoot, not hit me with the bullets. She taps my revolver, strapped to her thigh. It was the sole condition of her joining me on this little woodland excursion, that she gets to be the one who carries the gun. I told her that's fine, with one stipulation. Remember, I say, don't fucking touch that thing unless the Callous Man's already pulling you into his big mouth. I don't need you shooting me before I finish my business. What if he's attacking you, she asks. I'll deal with it. You'll deal with an 8-foot-tall monster with nothing but your bare hands? The water bottle crinkles in my grip. Just trust me on this. I'm a professional. I place my hand on the windowsill and look out over the clearing, out past the tree line. The sun's turned to golden red. Soon, it'll be night. Nervous? I ask her. What do you think? She says. You better be as good as you say you are. The way she moves, the way she speaks, and the way she keeps touching the revolver on her thigh tells me everything I need to know. She's terrified. Relax, I say. Save the anxiety for when our dear friend shows up. I chuckle at my joke, but it goes clear over her head. She pulls one of the chairs from the living area into the bedroom with me. She sits down on it, rigid and straight. I'm almost proud of her. Sure, she was only willing to accompany with a magnum strapped to her thigh, but she still chose to do it. She chose to get revenge for what that thing did to her, what it did to her friend. Almost there, I mutter, my eyes following the sun as it slips behind the tree line. Shadows stretch out, engulfing the cabin in thin strips of darkness. He'll be here soon. Seconds pass, then minutes, and then things begin to change. It starts with a crow taking flight, and I already know he's coming. I can feel him. A family of rabbits follow, bounding through the clearing. Soon, the entire forest is fleeing past us, far away from the callous man and the death he represents. I pop a piece of spearmint gum and start chewing. It helps me focus. You ready? Why? She says, shooting up from the chair. Is he here? Does it make a difference? You're either ready or you're not. She scowls at me, but her body relaxes. I'm ready. Are you sure you can kill him? A mad mixture of impatience and nervousness fills my stomach. I toy with the idea of lying. I'd put her at ease. Then I decide it doesn't matter anymore. Both of us are in too deep. No. No, she repeats incredulously. She rises from her chair, rounding on me. You said you were a professional. I am. You told me you've dealt with 100 different monsters. I have. Her mouth opens, but no words come out. She stares at me with something between stunned disbelief and absolute loathing. She thinks I've signed our death warrants. I'm not going to lie to you, I say. I've dealt with a lot of creatures. Some bad, some worse. I know this job inside and out, and I don't plan on dying today. But the callous man is different. How? I catch myself. We're on the precipice. Precipice? I don't know how to say that word, I'm sorry. And there's no going back, but there's still words that can upset the operation. I exercise some tact. He's powerful. He can distort this world and manipulate dimensions. It's why I needed you here. It's why I needed your link. He chose you. The callous man gave you the key to his world, and only you. But he never said you couldn't bring visitors. She shakes her head. She's trying to piece it together. Bless her heart, she's trying her best. But there's not enough pieces to make sense of it, and that's intentional. It's by design. I need her obedient, not unruly. Everything hinges on her cooperation. I don't understand. Why did he choose me? The sun finishes its descent, its red-orange rays fading to darkness. I flick my flashlight on, holding it up to the window, and watching the clearing with bated breath. The callous man is coming. He chose you because of the life you live, I explain. The values you represent, it means something to him. Values I represent? What, like honesty and integrity? She snorts like it's a joke. What could they mean to a monster like that? I smirk. They mean you taste delicious. The night is still, silent, just as she earlier described. There's no sounds of life, except this time. There's no storm either. It's a cloudless sky, without so much as a breeze, and I can almost hear Amanda's heart beating out of her chest. Ha ha, she says sarcastically. She's close enough behind me now that I can feel her breath on my neck. She really is terrified. What do these values actually mean to it? To him, I correct. Believe it or not, that monster really is a man. When you become as powerful as he is, though, food stops meaning what it means to you and I. It's less about calories and more about a filling void. It's trying to supplement its diet with concepts, ideas that it's missing. Why? To become better. To cure itself. There's movement in the clearing. My breath catches as I see it. A set of crooked antlers. They rise from the bramble, soon revealing a face covered by matted black hair, one with a tiny snout and a halo of dark beady eyes. The dots glimmer in the beam of my flashlight. It wants to stop being a monster? She asks, her voice thick with disbelief. It's eating people to save itself? Shh, I hiss. My eyes are wide and my mouth split into the largest grin I've worn in years. He's here. I sense her tense up behind me, but to her credit, she doesn't unholster the revolver on her thigh. She keeps her cool. I grip the water bottle tighter, reaching a hand to its cap. No. I pull my hand away, reminding myself that I need to keep my cool too. It's still too soon. The Callous Man can still escape, fade away. I need him committed. At the edge of the clearing, the man rises to his full height. I can see clearly now his dark fur chest and his long, thin fingers resting on the ground. His bird-like legs begin a slow march forward, their claws digging at the loamy earth. He's coming, I say, taking a step back. Stay behind me. Directly behind me. She doesn't speak, but I know she's nodding. I hear her feet creak on the floorboards in concert with my own. My fingers play at the cap of the water bottle. Everything comes down to this. 40 years of horror and misery have led me to this point. Snickering sound pierces the air. The man's moving faster now. Each footstep comes at the pace of a light jog. There's hardly any time left, but still I wait. He's coming, Amanda hisses from behind me. She's panicking. Her hand clutches at my shoulder and I grunt, shaking her off. Don't, I tell her. Relax. We're almost done here. My heart races. Seeing the monster again after all these years is dredging up old memories. And the little boy threatens to take hold inside of me. My palms are thick with sweat. It doubles over, sprinting on all fours. Its armada of eyes connecting with my own, while its crooked antlers sway in concert with its powerful body. Clouds of earth burst out from behind it. Its long fingers tearing at the ground with each stride. Nya, nya, nya. It snickers. Nya, nya. It leaps at the window. For a moment, time seems to stop. I stare, transfixed at the creature I used to know so well. Its horrifying, inhuman face gazes back at me, and inside of it I see an insatiable hunger, a need to feed. My body freezes, my blood goes cold. Terror grips as its fingers reach outward, passing through the window. While its vocal cords chitter in anticipation, it wants me. I lunge to the side. Hold on, I need to grab my something. There it is. Okay, back to where we were leaving. It collides with Amanda, its antlers piercing her stomach and showering the bedroom in blood. Her body crashes against the wall with a sickening crunch and lays there in a broken, whimpering heap. I stay as quiet as I can. The callous man shakes his tangled black hair and looks around, reorienting himself first to me, then to her, then back to me. Fuck. My fingers begin untwisting the cap of the water bottle. It's too soon. I need him distracted. I need him feeding and committed, but I don't think I have an option anymore. Steps toward me. The floor groans. My mouth feels dry, my limbs twitchy. Fear takes root in my chest, and the little boy inside threatens to take hold. No, I have to hang on. I open the water bottle and my mouth begins stuttering the words. Fuval Nola. The callous man lowers himself. His back arches and his tiny snout begins to open, growing larger and larger. Screams of 100 souls echo from the void inside of him, their arms reaching toward me, desperate to draw in another of their nightmare. Galnush Alza. I continue the words, but there's no time. They're close. He's so close. I press myself as far against the corner as I can. But still, I feel their cold grip on my leg. They pull. They're strong. My balance goes out from under me and I fall on my ass. Just Valkulna. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. She held the values he needed. Her, not me. I keep speaking the incantation. I keep moving my lips, but now my body's acting on instinct, on learned behavior. I can't so much as think as I slip further and further into the abyssal darkness of the callous man's jaws. I keep speaking the words, but my voice is drowned out by pleas of the dead. Screaming, howling, begging. The incantation is all I have left. It's not enough. It's taking too long. A deafening bang rings out, interrupting the chorus of screaming souls. The callous man recoils, its jaw sliding across the floor, and its body wriggling in agony. It stumbles to the side, and then 2 more gunshots pierce the night. It falls to its knees. I can see behind him now. I can see Amanda's body, her bloody, mangled heap. One of her legs is snapped backwards, and her white t-shirt is torn at her stomach. with pieces of her falling out of the hole. Blood spills from her mouth like a fountain, and in her trembling hands she holds the revolver. "Thank you," I breathed, rising to my feet on shaky legs. "Thank you, Amanda." Another blast of the handgun, and this time my ears are ringing like church bells. I stumble to the side, and in the dim light of my lantern, I see a bullet hole in the wall behind me. I barely have time to look back at her before agony rips through my thigh, and I collapse to the bedroom floor. Fucking bitch! My hands clutch the wound instinctively. I don't need to look at it to feel the warm wetness of blood seeping through my fingers. I gaze up at her, and she steadies the magnum at me. I was so close. So goddamn close. 40 years of this shit and I'm undone by a blogger. "Do it," I growl. Death by a bullet isn't a bad way to go, all things considered. Do it before he takes both of us. She lowers the revolver and tears fall from her eyes. She's choking on a word, but all that's coming out is a torrent of blood. It's fine. I know what she wants to say. "I did it because it was the only way," explained through gritted teeth. "One of us has to die, but if it was me, then it meant we both die." Her body's twitching in shock. She's still moving her mouth, but it's just blood now. No words, only blood. Her face is pale and glassy-eyed, but I only see it for another moment before the callous man begins to rise. "Nya, nya, nya." His snickering, but it's violent, angry. His eyes gaze at me. The antlers are casting twisted shadows in the light of my lantern, and it's making him seem even more unnatural, more inhuman. "Nya, nya." He turns away from me. He turns to Amanda. "Fu gus rea," I whisper. "Morath ingre shan." His footsteps groan on the rotting cabin floorboards. I don't see Amanda, but I hear the gurgle of her blood. I hear the desperate shuffle of her body, pushing itself against the wall. I hear a gunshot ring out, then another. Footsteps march forward, and so does my incantation. The water bottle shaking in my grip now, the grimy fluid swirling in a murky maelstrom. Rea nul Julia. Another shot. Thel ra dua. Rea tha. Cacophony of screams. Set kill ona. Box loa. Amanda lets loose on the handgun twice more, and then the firearm clicks impotently. She's burned through every round that it has. It wasn't enough. Never could be. My lips keep moving, even as I hear her body being dragged across the floor. The ancient language flows out of me, and I'm deaf to the sounds of her flesh being ripped and torn, her limbs being devoured inch by inch. She needs to hang on. Her role in this isn't over yet. I speak the final words. Set it in this. The water bottle jolts from my grip, the murky fluid inside exploding into a dark cloud, twisting around the room like a tornado of smoke. I hear the screaming falter. Then I hear the callous man lurch forward, snickering in confusion. I hear Amanda groan. She's a fighter. Good. Take a breath. It takes the cloud only a handful of seconds to coalesce into the greatest monster I've ever seen. But in that moment, it feels like a lifetime. Its form snaps and cracks bolts of electricity. Its 12 eyes glow an impossible blue. Upon its 6 muscled arms are heavy chains, linked to a choker on its neck, and its face roars with fury. This time I'll have your soul, little man. I'll enjoy it over a glass of your misery. I let a grin slip across my lips. For the first time since the callous man appeared, I feel my sense of humor returning. Sorry to disappoint, Drehar, but I'm summoned to you by means of an offering. The genie's brows furrow and his mouth opens to reveal a row of jagged teeth. I see no living humans here, save for one. He's smiling. He reaches an arm out to grab me, but as soon as his fingers brush my throat, they hiss in steam. He recoils, snarling. She's your offering, I say, pointing past the callous man to Amanda's mangled body. Now obey my command. A cacophony of screams interrupt us. The callous man's jaws have opened, and once more 100 arms reach from the maw, this time toward the newcomer. I grasp at the genie, phasing through the gaseous image. Drehar scowls, his voice dropping to a low growl. Very well, the words are spoken. A soul for a soul. His body splits in two, circumventing the callous man and reforming in front of Amanda. She's nearly dead. She's confused. She doesn't understand what's happening. I've given her a mercy. Drehar will treat her soul better than the callous man ever would. The genie's hand reaches out to touch her, and in the next instant, her body is gone. Only the bloodstains remain. The callous man looks back to me, its jaw scraping across the floor. It recognizes there's nothing in the genie to consume. It wants what's inside of me, though. It wants the memories of its humanity. It wants revenge. It takes a step toward me, then another. The screams are deafening, but I know I don't need my voice to be heard. A command is a command. For her soul, I want his. A pale hand reaches out from the abyssal maw, grasping my legs, and I let them. My body falls to the floor. It inches toward the jaws of the beast, toward damnation. Then, light fills the room, and the cabin shakes with the low bass of eternity itself. The screaming fades to a whimper. Then, after a loud pop, it's gone. Everything's gone. The callous man, the cabin. I'm alone, laying in a dark field, my lantern illuminating a clearing of grass, with tall trees surrounding it. My thigh aches, my mouth is parched, my conscience is in tatters. But I'm alive. I'm always alive. Soon, you'll have fulfilled our contract, says a hissing voice scraping along my inner ear. It's everywhere and nowhere. I've taken 93 souls for you, only 7 more to go. Yeah, I've heard it before, I say with a groan. Now hand over my soul. There's a swirl of smoke, and the frowning genie appears before me. He snaps a finger on one of his 6 arms and produces a vial filled with murky purple liquid. The man never deserved this, he says. He was your own blood. Don't lecture me, I say, reaching for the vial. You and I both know he was never supposed to turn into that. The genie pulls back, gazing at the vial. What is meant to be and what comes to pass are 2 different things. You shield yourself in the delusion of intention. He encircles me in a snaking ribbon of smoke, his face materializing near my ear. You forced that destiny on the man. He had no desire to participate in your war. Yeah, well, none of us do. And yet it's coming anyway. Something takes a seat in my gut. Regret, maybe? Remorse? It's an ugly feeling. Whatever it is, I blame it on the woman. Why didn't she just kill me? No, I think to myself. Shake it off. I've got more important things to worry about. The vial, I growl, holding my hand out. I think I may have miscalculated, Drehar mutters, staring at the vial with curiosity. Soul for a soul, such is the term of our contract. And yet... A swallow. Feels like sandpaper. When's the last time I had something to drink? You got your soul, now give me mine. My voice cracks. Fuck. My voice cracks. The genie's 12 eyes swivel their gaze to me. A smile slips across its lips. When he speaks, his voice is quiet, unsettling. I counted over 100 souls in this vial. My heart slams against my ribcage. Damn it. It's not fair. I shout, trying to rise to my feet, but my thigh screams in pain and I fall back to the earth. I only asked for his soul. I never asked for the souls he devoured. And yet, they are still a part of him. Please. It can't end here. Be reasonable. Reasonable. The genie roars and his form becomes massive. Lightning sparks around him, and the wind whips into a gale, threatening to unseat me from the ground. You chained me to this earth for decades, turned me into a common reaper for your own ends, and you confined me to a water bottle. You speak of reason to me. I did what I had to, I bellow. A war is coming, and we need these souls. We need an army. Your petty war means nothing to me. Drehar points a long finger toward me, and a red aura swirls around it. Sparks crackle at its tip. Then slowly, reluctantly, he curls it back into a fist. I am, however, a reasonable being. My breath hitches in my chest as I hang on the monster's every word. You have broken the terms of our contract, but I have also willingly fulfilled your wish. For that, I will give you a compromise, little human. Compromise? That's good. It's better than nothing. What? Drehar's eyes glint. 1 month. 1 month. Settle your affairs. Prepare for your war. 1 month from now, I'll take the soul I've dreamed of for decades. I'll spend the next century picking you out of my teeth. I sigh, falling back into the grass. It's better than I could expect, all things considered. I'm surprised the cosmic asshole didn't just scoop me up right then and there. Fucking fine print. Fine, I say. Can you get me out of here? He smirks, turning into a formless smoke. Soul for a soul, no more, no less. He begins swirling like a mad tornado of shadow, howling and roaring, and a moment later he's gone. Vacuumed back into the water bottle. Asshole. Looks like I'm finding my own way down. Once more I try to rise to my feet. Once more I wince in pain and fall to the earth. Damn. The revolver did good work on my thigh. No, she did. The woman tugs at my thoughts. Her resolve, her strength, her blog. She could tell the story, Amanda Haynes. She's gone now, but there's still a story that needs to be told. And I'm running out of time to tell it. I got a mess in the corner of my eye. A pile of canvas, torn and bloody with tent holes poking out. That should do. I crawl toward it, and a moment later I find what I'm looking for. The black device lay a few feet away, just like it's been in the cabin. The beacon. I reach out and grab it, click the button. It beeps. Good. It beeps. You don't need me to tell you that the search team located me, and you don't need me to tell you that they had a lot of questions, but that the facility stepped in and took care of it. You also don't need me to tell you that I'll be walking with crutches for the rest of my short life. What you need me to tell you is why I'm posting this. You need to know why I'm telling you this story, and why I need you to tell it to the others, your friends, your family, everybody. The reality is, a war is coming. It's a war that humanity isn't outfitted for, but we're going to do the best we can. Strictly speaking, everything I've just said is classified, and yet it's critical this information be spread far and wide. What's coming for us can't be stopped by missiles and guns. It can't be overcome by men and women. It has to be through other means, legendary means. The folks at the top don't want to admit it. They don't want to show chaos and uncertainty, and admit our hourglass is dangerously low on sand. But it is, and chaos is coming one way or another. We're doing what we can at the facility, but it isn't enough. Not even close. They'd skin me alive for posting this, but my time's already up, so fuck 'em. I'm asking you, all of you, if you see a creature that defies explanation, or certain something that goes bump in the night, share your experience. Make it known. Against the eldritch abominations coming our way, those monsters might be our only chance, and honestly, we need all the help we can get. And this is the end of The Callous Man. My throat hurts a lot. That's really annoying. But slowly I'm working on it. Doesn't hurt as bad as it did the other times. I hope you guys enjoy. And I'm really hoping that the rain in the back makes it a little bit more ambient. And that it doesn't overpower my voice, or my voice doesn't overpower it. But hopefully that it sounds nice, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave like a comment or a like or something. Subscribe if you want. I won't, ask for that, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, leave suggestions down below if you have anything you want, read out or anything, because I'm always open. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!